Now we're going to talk about the powers of I, and I wanted to show you a pattern that you can remember when using powers of I. So we have I to the first exponent, then we go I to the second, I to the third, and then I to the fourth. And if you see, you have to remember when you simplify it that I to the first exponent is just I. Then once you get to the second, you have to remember that it's simplified to -1. Third is -I. Fourth is a +1. And then you're just going to keep repeating that pattern. So then we get to I to the fifth, we just go back to I. I to the sixth is just -1. Then I to the seventh, -I. And then I to the eighth is a +1. And it's going to keep repeating for as many numbers as you try to use it with. But let's use this example of I to the 60th exponent because that's pretty big. Now you can always go back to I to the fourth because you know that 4 times 15 will give you 60, and that makes it a lot easier to solve. So what you're going to do is say I to the fourth, and you can make a parenthesis and put the 15 on the outside, and we know that 15 times 4 will give you the 60, but because you were able to simplify it with I to the fourth, your answer is going to be simplified to just 1. So what did we do? We had the 60, and we said, okay, let's find a number that is multiplied with 4 to get the 60, because then it's just I to the fourth times 15, and I to the fourth is equal to 1. So we know the simplified answer will be 1. And you can do that with any number that is greater or equal to 5. When it's in the exponent, you just go back and use the I to the fourth, and you can get one of these answers. It's a lot easier. So you're either going to put I to the first, second, third, or fourth in here, and you're going to multiply it by a number that is going to give you that bigger number you're working with, and your answer will then just be simplified to one of these 4 answers. And then something else you're going to have to remember is I is equal to the square root of -1, and then I squared is equal to -1. And I wanted to show you why is I squared equal to -1. Well, I squared is the same as saying the square root of -1 2 times. And when you have a number and you multiply it in the square root 2 times, you just get that number without the square root. So you're going to have to start remembering these 4 especially. I, -1, -I, +1, and you're going to have to remember that pattern. And I is equal to the square root of -1, and then so I squared would be -1. And then once you get into i's that are bigger than the 4, then you start reducing the number and putting either I to the first, second, third, or fourth exponent on the inside and multiplying it by another number that will give you the bigger number. And once you have the 1, 2, 3, or 4 exponent on the inside, then you can just simplify it to that number, like here. So go back, look at this a couple times, and just try to remember that pattern. Put it on flashcards is the easiest way, and just take your time with it.